Hi guys, so yesterday's launch turned out to be really successful. I got really good feedback and a lot of moms and dads excited to have some sort of guidance in their day-to-day, so that's super exciting. I've also added a Spanish version of it because it's really exciting because now my cousins in El Salvador are saying, hey, I want to know what to work with on what to work with my kids. So this is perfect. So if we're gonna do this, you're gonna need your handy dandy preschool teacher essentials kit. So you probably have a lot of this stuff at home, but let me show you mine. This is my box. We don't have a lot of space, so I try to keep it to a minimal at home. At work is usually where I have my excess of everything, and also because we have more children that we serve. At home it's just two, so obviously all the materials we need less. So here I have pipe cleaners, essential, definitely. That goes with these big beads for them to make bracelets. 3 and 4-year-olds really like that activity. We have adult scissors and I have kid scissors. I have like the more guarded scissors, but I don't prefer them because usually the blade, it's still dangerous. I mean, you still have to keep an eye on them, and the blade is usually pretty crummy. So when they cut, sometimes the paper shifts and does that weird angle thing, and it kind of emotionally makes them feel like they're not successful. So I just kind of keep a close eye and give them the real deal. I mean, obviously my 8-year-old can use bigger scissors, but I'm speaking more for Lila, the younger one, and your preschoolers at home. A lot of sparkles. We love sparkles here, but just really anything to be able to glue on. Buttons. I mean, really, today's activity, we're going to use paper. And paints. A lot of paints. I have a lot of colors. You can get by with just blue, red, and yellow, the primaries, and then you mix them together and you can make any color you want. This is just me being me, Paintbrushes, we need those. Glitter, and you're gonna need Sharpies. I have a big one just for bigger projects, but also the smaller Sharpie or any black marker. I just feel like Sharpies last you longer. And glue and masking tape for sure. This is really cool because kids love it. It's sticky, but it's not messy, and it works a fine motor when they try to tear it and stick it on paper. And anyway, we'll get to other activities with that. But if you can just stock up on this, I have cardstock here because sometimes I feel like these activities, the kids can't sit for that long if they're younger. So if you make the paper smaller or the activity smaller, then they need to be applied to it a little bit less. So that's kind of a pointer for that. So let's get into the activity for the day, and hold on to your box because we're going to use it through all of these activities that I post. So for your preschooler, you're going to need 2 colored sheets. It could be construction paper. This is just bright colored printer paper, and a white sheet of also printer paper. And for your elementary school child, a couple of magazines. I have the Educator magazine and Car and Driver, and just a white sheet of paper also. For them, you don't really need to prep because they're old enough to do it all. So pretty much just have it on hand for when they sit at the table with you to do the activity. For your preschooler, some of the older preschoolers can actually make their letter, and then you can just help them bolden it. Lila is 3 and not yet able to make her letter, so I'm going to make it for her. So you're going to grab your Sharpie and you're going to write their first letter of their first name, or really any letter you'd like, but I always feel like they feel more excited to decorate their own letter, which represents themselves. And that works in terms of, boosting their morale and their self-esteem and their confidence, really, because really, that's what everything takes, right? Confidence to be able to try something and realize how successful you can be. I am trying to practice what I preach because it's scary to make a YouTube video and feel like maybe, people are gonna say this, say that, or think this or think that. I mean, really, if I'm teaching my kids that, I have to practice it also. So back to what we were doing. Sharpie, paper. I'm gonna make an L for Lila. You make whichever. The bigger you make it, the easier it's going to be for the younger kids. The smaller you make it, the harder it's going to be for the older kids. So, did I say that right? I think so. Here we go. So I'm going to make my L for my Lila. And it doesn't have to be perfect because they just love that you're being with them and spending time with them. So here is my L, and I am going to then grab my 2 sheets of paper, and I'm gonna make strips. So in order to not edit and tape myself cutting on the table, I'm gonna do it this way so I can get this video out as soon as I can. So cutting strips, cutting, cutting. I didn't tell you needed scissors, so you're gonna need scissors. Go grab those really quick and cut strips. I'll wait. You can pause me. Unless you got your box ready. Okay, so you have your strips, right? And you put them all together. And with this, you can cut them in squares, right? You can cut it in triangles. You see that? And then across, so you get 2 sets of triangles. And you can cut it in rectangles. I know, right? Sometimes you're like, really? I could have done that if I had only thought about it. But, I mean, that's the whole thing. This is what we do. We love it, so we're always thinking about it. So I got a little weird shape at the bottom. I'm just going to make 2 rectangles out of it. The beauty of being a preschool teacher is that nothing has to be perfect and everything has to be fun. So now I have my shapes. All of my shapes prepped, my letter prepped. And so what I'm going to have Lila do is I'm going to have her put the triangles, squares, and rectangles, which are all shape recognition, right? Which we're trying to get them to, a lot of them know it and they hiccup. So what we're really just doing is reiterating it, practicing it. In my classroom, I do paddle shapes every day for a whole year. These kids do shape paddles and it's still fun, and when I miss it, they remind me. So I know sometimes it feels repetitive, but that is what they need. That's what they like, that's what they enjoy. They feel confident that they know it, and if they hiccup, then they feel like, oh, I'm not that untouchable, right? Which is a great thing to know as a person. That you're not always perfect, but life goes on and you're still loved, nothing changes, right? So put her shapes in here, shapes, colors, shapes and colors, and we can also practice the colors, and it gives you letter recognition. So as we do these activities, you're going to start to realize how simple it is really, but also how deep it is for them, because these are things that we already know and we don't think to teach sometimes. So that's where we come in. Anyway, so for the 3-year-olds, the preschoolers, L, fill it inside. If you want to get a little bit fancier, you can give them watercolors, which is a little bit less messy, and they can watercolor all the way around, and that would look pretty neat, right? Also try to remind them to try and stay inside. It's just more of a fine motor skill where they're going to try and place it a little bit closer, and squeezing the glue bottle too. I mean, I really think that you're going to find yourself a lot of times teaching out of instinct and not realizing it. Because I think a lot of it, like I said, is confidence. You're going to see them squeezing from the top, and you're going to be like, hey, if you squeeze in the middle, you're going to be able to get more glue out. So you're going to notice these things, like I said, that are practical to you, but not yet to them. So let's get really quick into the older kids' activity. So he's got his magazines, right, and his paper. I'm going to have him make his block letter, and his is going to be tricky because it's going to be an M. So have him do it, and then instead of having him fill the letter, I'm going to have him find a lot of color in the magazines, which it doesn't have to be a magazine. It can be a newspaper. It can be even the ads that come in the mailbox. Anything really that they can cut that you're okay with, giving up. I'm gonna have him cut colors. I mean, he can cut color off the car and not decorate his letter, but decorate around his letter. So that's gonna take up a little bit more time, a little bit more patience, and it's really gonna get his creativity going, I hope. And it's gonna be a cool thing for him to be able to put up in his room or in his wall, and it's his own. So I hope this is helpful. Tune in, because I'm going to keep doing activities like this. Feedback, what worked, what didn't work, what you could find easily, what you couldn't find. I mean, all of this is for you. I want it for your kids, really, because now I feel like I have these arms that can kind of go into the classroom, or not go into the classroom, put the classroom into your home and be able to develop your children. Like, my reach now is so wonderful. I mean, I'm telling you. I made a video in Spanish because now I realize I could reach, my community in my parents' hometown. And that would be just, anyway, mind-blowing. As you can tell, I really love what I do. I love kids. I love watching them grow. I love watching them develop. So let's watch them grow and develop together. Please feel free to share your finished product in the comments so we can all check it out and see what your kids created. And I'll share my kids' stuff too. All right. Hope it works out. Let me know. Bye.